Yo, it's crazy. I can't believe this. People are not even paying attention to what they're doing, and they're slowly destroying themselves in the process. All for what? All for what? All for what? To stimulate the economies of these businesses and further drive themselves into debt while their jobs are at risk. Meanwhile, they're maxing out their credit cards, going to the ultimate limit, destroying their credit, lowering their credit scores, paying these high interest rates, higher interest fees, while not even having the ability to cover an emergency expense if that were to arise, let alone having something like this happen, which is unfortunately terrible, losing power and not having electricity because it's been shut off. Check this out.
Otherwise, that is the current situation. And yeah, tomorrow there might not be power, so I don't know if I'll be online, but I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know. There is this rumor that there might not be power tomorrow, so yeah, just thought I should give you a heads up. I hope you and the family are okay, and I hope all is well. Thank you. Bye.
It honestly is amazing how perspective works. When Bupe, has every reason to complain, yet she doesn't, and all she does is keep a smile on her face and an upbeat, positive attitude as she reaches out to a stranger across the world to share her story and ask for some help and some advice and some guidance to achieve the goals that she has set out for herself and her family. Truly an inspiration. I envy the ability to live such a simple life. Really do. It's amazing perspective. However, the perspective here in the United States, here in Florida, crazy. Folks here have got it backwards. Folks here are falling victim to the strategies and the plans and the plots against them to strip them of their, I don't even know if I can say wealth. It's almost a plan to strip them of their income, strip them of their ability for wealth, really, because the way things are going now, the way we're seeing prices and inflation and the changes going on in the economy and in the markets, it almost seems as though wealth is a distant dream for some, mostly for those who don't have a plan, don't have a strategy, and or are not taking action. Now, folks here are spending thousands. I don't even know. Again, I gotta reiterate, I gotta rephrase, I gotta be careful with the words that I choose to use to describe the situations that folks are in. Whereas, I don't even know if I can consider it spending, more so as charging and going into debt, racking up probably some of the highest credit card balances and debts that we will see in history, as reports will probably say here soon when the numbers come in, at the highest interest rates that many folks have ever seen in their entire lives, which means that we need to be paying attention to the warning signs that are being shown to us, folks. You know what the warning signs are, right? Okay, well, humor me, but let's just say we're not aware of what the warning signs are. Let me tell you what the warning signs are. The warning signs are that with the higher prices, monumental record-breaking inflation, and highest interest rates in quite a while, the warning signs are showing that it is my prediction. And again, if I'm wrong, feel free to come back to this video. You're more than welcome to say, Kevin, you were wrong. But I can tell you this, if I am actually wrong, it's a good thing. If I'm right, there's gonna be some folks in trouble. Because what the warning signs are telling us and what they're indicating to us is that we are soon going to see reports in a relatively short period of time of folks who are being swallowed up and completely wiped out by inflation, high prices, high interest rates, credit card balances that they've racked up buying a bunch of crap that they don't need for Christmas, and the inability to repay these debts due to all the factors I just listed, in addition to possible job loss, layoffs, hiring freezes, and restructuring of companies through M&A. Folks, I told you, mergers and acquisitions are going to happen. They're going to happen more frequently, more often, and much like we saw with Twitter, we will see more layoffs, more business restructuring, more employment changes, which will lead to a culmination of the end result of the plan that is in place, which is part of the Great Reset, folks, which is to strip folks of their wealth, which again, I need to clarify when I say that, and I mean their income, which is ultimately the possibility and maybe ability to create wealth. They're stripping that of so many Americans, so many middle class, working class Americans, making it so that it will never, ever happen. Folks, please don't let it happen to you. Please don't let it happen to you. All right, so check this out. Somebody hit me up. They sent me an email, and they asked me a question. And it was a little bit of a disturbing message that I received in the question, and I really didn't know how to answer it. And you know, this is at a time where, check this out. Look at this. This is how my new friend Bupe, she lives in Africa, she lives in Zambia. This is how my new friend Bupe prepares her meals. She said that she doesn't have a refrigerator. I don't think they have any other form of cooking, whether it be a stove or an oven or anything like that. But basically, if she's going to prepare a meal, this is how she's going to do it. And then as far as storing the meal and refrigeration, that's not really an option. It's not really possible. So what happens is they pretty much have to go farm to table, if that's the right term. Farm to table, farm to mouth, and purchase, gather, harvest, or whatever you need that day, and that's how it is. Meanwhile, I would assume that there's very little waste that occurs. There's probably very little waste that occurs in this situation, where inversely we have a completely different situation here in this country. And the holiday season, despite all the news headlines, which the news headlines and the news stories are fabricated and manipulated to achieve a goal, folks. And the goal is for the wealthy to succeed, the uber elites to succeed. Not my words, theirs. I don't consider them elites, but you guys know who I'm talking about. They're manipulating and fabricating this data so that they can scare you when they want. But they can also, it's weird, they can scare you into spending money. They can scare you into debt. And that's what they're doing. And we have a situation on our hands that annually we see this occur. We have holidays built around spending money. Holidays around waste. At a time where we have record inflation, record job loss, layoffs, and global conflicts that we don't have any clue as to just how much of an impact they're really going to have on us moving forward, besides what we know today and what we heard yesterday. Now, the email that I received was from someone interested in becoming a member. And I receive these pretty regularly. I receive these pretty regularly of folks wanting to become members in the group, and they have questions. They want to make sure that it's right for them. Totally understandable. But basically what it boiled down to was they have completed all their Christmas shopping. And they feel as though they have this high level of stress and anxiety where they thought that they wouldn't. They thought that if they got ahead of this and they knocked it out early, that they would be relieved. But instead, no, it's quite the opposite. They feel overwhelmed with the oncoming of debt. Now, brace yourself, folks. Upwards of $10,000 has been spent, i.e. financed on credit cards, American Express, MasterCard, Visa, Chase, and some store brand cards. Upwards of a collective total of $10,000. Perhaps maybe there's a chemical imbalance. Perhaps maybe there's an addiction, which I know is possible. I know it is a problem. I know it's something that people challenge with and battle with on a regular basis. And with that being said, I do want to highlight a member of the network that is working on putting together a great program, which is I want to make sure I say this correctly. It's almost as if counseling, for lack of better words, counseling that he's putting together to help people have someone to talk to. It's amazing how many people really need someone to talk to. to hear them out, to get things off their chest, to bounce ideas off of back and forth. Now, the question was, what do I do? What do I do? I mean, I've taken on all this debt. I know better. Look, guys, check this out. Look at this view. I don't know if y'all can see the water from here, or if the camera's picking it up. But that's a pretty cool view. Water looks amazing. So, what do I do? You know, ironically, we've got the Christmas tree here with all the gifts under the tree. So, ironically, it's like, what do I do? Well, number one, we need to free ourselves from this dependency and reliance on credit cards, especially for something like wasteful spending and, you know, unnecessary. I'm not gonna say it's like completely unnecessary, because, you know, Christmas is a great time to spend with friends and family, and, you know, buy gifts and share gifts and open presents and enjoy good food. And, you know, I'm not gonna say it's wasteful, especially for the kids. We've agreed that our Christmas is basically for the kids. Like, if anybody's getting gifts, if anybody's gonna have anything to unwrap, it's gonna be the kids. And they probably got 3-4 more years of that, and then sayonara. So, but first we need to understand what the problem is. We need to create steps to solve this problem, and then we need to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in the position again later on to have that same problem occur. That's number one, okay? And, you know, number two is creating a healthy balance of consumption, because businesses do rely on consumers, but we need a healthy balance, because the businesses are relying on consumers ultimately wiping themselves out. So if the consumers wipe themselves out, eventually the businesses won't have any more left. Add on top of that the job market, inflation, recession, possible recession, possible mass layoffs, and more coming our way. So, you know, it really puts things into perspective when Bupe has sporadic electricity at best, no real running water, no refrigerator, no oven, no real modern essentials that we all take for granted here. Meanwhile, fortunately, in my opinion, has access to a modern cell phone, computer possibly, and internet. Big deal. And is utilizing these tools and not allowing her situation, her living conditions, which is all she knows besides what she's seen, stop her from achieving her goals. I believe, based on what she's telling me, that she is a smart and driven person who is seriously looking for opportunities, and is going to be very, very financially responsible to put herself in a position to succeed and grow and thrive for her family, bring her family a better life. Not that her life is bad, but perhaps maybe she has interests and goals for them outside of where they currently are, because she's shared them with me. She's got an accounting background. She's smart. I know she is. She couldn't do what she's doing if she wasn't. I know she is. You guys know she is. Very intelligent. She's actually working on bringing us some real world boots on the ground intel from Zambia, Africa, about what it takes to run a business, especially as a woman business owner And what she has to do and is going to do is she's going to translate, because she's one of the very few in her village that actually speaks English. So very exciting. I can't wait to see that one come up. But you know, here in America, folks are swiping credit cards left and right. They're burying themselves in debt. There's no end in sight. At best, they're looking to make minimum payments, request higher limits, perhaps maybe request balance transfers, pay the fees on the balance transfers, and carry on the cycle. And you know, ultimately leave this earth with that debt. Leave this earth with that debt and take it, you know, to the last day, which is crazy. I hope that's not you guys. I really do. But you know, I do know that this holiday season, much like every other holiday season, but this holiday season, it's a struggle. And yet people are still out there trying to make it happen. We got reports of better than expected Black Friday sales. Meanwhile, the Fed is talking about possibly, you gotta pay attention. The Fed is talking about possibly pulling back on the rate hikes. Well, that just, you know, the Fed's talking about pulling back on rate hikes right before Christmas. Why? They're trying to get that money in the economy, folks. They're playing this game. They've got a delicate dance that they have to try to manage, and it's a dance of adjusting interest rates and playing with the emotions of the American people, and globally too. It's a global economy, but they're dancing around with the interest rates while trying not to tank the economy and just crash the whole economy, because then that would just be really bad for us. For them, they're like, you know, they're literally playing like Battleship with millions of people's livelihoods and income and finances and savings and investments and portfolios and retirements and 401ks and pensions and ETFs and the stock market and cryptocurrency. They're just playing the games like Battleship. And they're sticking the pins in the board. They're calling out numbers. And, you know, at some point you go, oh man, you sunk my Battleship. But it's just a game to them. You know, that little Battleship gets taken off the board. It's just a game to them. They don't feel the pain. And that's kind of how it works, unfortunately. But honestly, I'm just telling you guys the truth. They play this game. They have a goal in mind, because, you know, odds are they kind of want to do a good job. But even if they do a good job, or if they do a bad job, it really doesn't affect them. You see what I'm saying? They are of the status and income and wealth levels that it really doesn't affect them. You see what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part, is like they're stripping away so many folks' ability to build wealth, and now all they're doing is coming straight for your income. It's not even like they're coming for your savings, because they already got that. They already got that. And it's like this delicate game that they're playing. You know, it has an impact on the economy, it has an impact on the interest rates, and it has an impact on the livelihood. Like, folks, guess what? Folks are gonna have to seriously reconsider the possibility of retirement in many cases, because it's financially impossible based on some of the moves and actions that were happening by being done by the Fed or not being done by the Fed. And then some folks have retired and they're sitting here saying, oh, we got to go back to work. We got to figure out how to go back to work at a time where jobs are being cut by the thousands, tens of thousands of jobs being cut. Tens of thousands of jobs being cut. Tens of thousands of jobs being cut, savings accounts being wiped out, interest rates going up, borrowing money and debt is more expensive. Housing prices are through the roof. Mortgages are unaffordable. Affordable housing used to mean a certain bracket group of folks. I think affordable housing now is the collective whole. And the only way that housing can be affordable now for most people in America is if they are well off and or are paying cash. That's really the only way it can be affordable, because to go and try to purchase a home today that costs 75% more than it did a year ago, or a year and a half, 2 years ago, at an interest rate that is more than twice what it was, the payment is unaffordable. The income earning requirements, credit score, unaffordable. People are going to have perfect credit and next to no debt at a time where the Fed is making it more difficult to get out of debt because they've raised interest rates. And they're not saying that they're going to stop raising interest rates. They're just saying that they may pull back. Think about it. They're saying they may pull back on how high or what the next interest rate increase will be, but they haven't done it yet. They're still trying to get people to spend that money. Folks, please comment down below, give this video a like if you hear what I'm saying. So, I don't want to bring you just bad news. I'm working on bringing you guys some good news, and that's in the works. Got a pretty cool video coming up for you guys I think you're gonna really enjoy, specifically focusing on retirement. And you know, one special lady's story about how she was able to retire with the help of some very kind people. We got some really kind people out here in the world. We got to make sure we give them credit, give them their recognition. And but the good news is that, you know, there are options, there are resources, there's still a chance and a way that you can get out there. You can build a business. You can improve your business. You can drive revenues. You can help employ some folks that are getting laid off. You can do that. You can make some investments. You can start stockpiling and stacking up cash on your savings. You can pay off debt. And there's so many opportunities out there. I don't want it to seem like there aren't. I don't want it to seem like, you know, all is bad, the world is ending. We had some slight good news with some gas prices coming down and some projections of gas prices coming down. We got some things to look forward to, folks. We need to keep our eye on the prize. We need to be paying attention to what's happening around us, good, bad, and or indifferent, and preparing ourselves to survive and thrive during and after. Building up assets, building up businesses, building up generational wealth, building up, you know, something to pass on to future generations, and coming out of this recovery, coming out of this rebound and saying, we did it, we made it, and we're better for it. We came out better than we went in. Now let's double down and let's 10x this joker, because now we got the tools, now we got the network, now we got the team, now we got the plan, now we got the strategy, now we got the momentum. And if the Fed is backing off by then it's gonna be game over, folks. For the people that are ready, for the people who are actually doing what they need to do and not, you know, just falling into this perpetual cycle of debt and low income and, you know, teetering on the edge of being wiped out. Please don't let that be you guys. You guys take care, be safe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.